You can watch us on YouTube at Falls Area Community Government, or Twitter at FactTV8, or Facebook by typing in Falls Area Community TV. Fact TV Government Channel, keeping government honest.
Hey folks, this is Alex Stradling and this is your Fact TV update. So we have a lot of big things going on. So while you're waiting for the meeting, I'm just going to highlight some of the things that we have going on here at the station. The first big thing is we've had channel changes. So if you're a Comcast customer, we used to be on Channel 8 and Channel 10. Channel 8 was our public channel and Channel 10 was our government channel where you'd see all the municipal meetings. Now our channels have changed. So now on Comcast we're 1076 for the public channel and we're 1086 for the government channel. So if you're waiting for a meeting right now and you want to watch the meeting on cable TV, go to channel 1086. So channel changes. 1076, 1086, Comcast. All right, so moving on. The next big thing that we have is that we here at Fact TV have been working in partnership with the Bellows Falls Union High School, and we provide a little financial support so that they can purchase a fully automated remote cam to be installed into the basketball gym, which they installed at the Holland basketball gym. And now that gives us the opportunity to be able to broadcast all the Bellows Falls Union High School games. So this is very exciting news. We're not sure if they're going to have basketball this season. We still have to wait, for the governor and what his decision is. But if they do start up basketball, we're going to be able to cover all the basketball games, the girls varsity, boys varsity, JV, all the basketball games. So this is really great news. If you want to be able to catch the basketball games this season and in the future, please go to our Facebook page, the new Facebook page that we created, and that's called Falls Area Community TV Bellows Falls Area Sports. Go to that page. That's where we're going to be broadcasting the basketball games. Like the page and follow it. Okay, so moving on. Now, as you know, as you're waiting for the meeting to come on, we cover a lot of meetings, so we can't put every meeting live on our Facebook page. So I know a lot of folks go to our Facebook page and they may be looking for a meeting. We just don't have the amount of pages. We can't do multiple streams of multiple meetings on one page. So some of our content has to go to other Facebook pages or to our YouTube channel. So if you're looking for a meeting and you're on our Facebook page and it's not there, then what you can do is go to our YouTube channel. So go to YouTube, type in Falls Area Community TV Government, subscribe to our channel, and there you'll be able to find the meeting if you don't find it on Facebook. The other place that you can find it is if you go to our website, fact8.com, and click on, you go to our menu here, go to the menu, scroll down to Fact TV Live. Okay, and this page will pop up, live meetings and events. And we have 2 players for that. So you could be one or the other meeting. So that's one way that you can view the meetings. All right? And while we're on our website, the last thing I want to present to you folks, a lot of people don't know what Fact TV is. They think that we're a news station. They think that we're a corporate TV station. We're not. We're none of those things. We're a nonprofit. We're a nonprofit media access center. We're here to help the community to produce their own content to broadcast out on cable. We have the tools, we have the equipment, we have the resources, we have the training. We're here to provide that to you to be able to produce content for television. So also to provide the platforms. So if you want to air your content, if you're already producing stuff on Facebook, if you already have a video, if you already post videos on social media and you want to maybe reach a local audience, a wider audience, you can submit your video to us and we'll distribute it on our pages and we'll put it on cable. And it's very easy to do. There's 3 ways that you can do that. First, you can either give me a call at 802-463-1613 and I can walk you with a phone how to do it. You can go to our website. This is the easiest way to do. Go to fact8.com. Here's our website. Click on the menu. Just like YouTube, just like Facebook, scroll on down, scroll, and to upload or submit your show. So, and then here you go. Just scroll on down and then hit submit video. Okay, and then fill out the information, and you're good to go. Now, the last thing I want to say, not to do, the last thing I want to say is, let's say you want to do a TV show. Let's say you've been doing it at home and maybe it's too much work for you to do, or you don't have the internet speed. Whatever the reason is, you know, you want to be able to do it more consistently, and you don't want to have to worry about the technicalities of producing the show. Well, we have our own studio here at Fact TV for you to use. It's for everyone in the community to use. All you have to do is call us up and schedule a time, or go to our website and hit Studio Services. We'll be able to broadcast or stream your show out to any platform that you want, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, TikTok, whatever new platform comes out, we'll be able to stream that out, and you'll go on cable. So you can call us, 802-463-1613, or email me at alex@fact8.com, or go to our website, www.fact8.com, and click on Studio Services. So yeah, there you go. That's it for our Fact TV update. You guys have a good week.
Sir. Me. Well, we got three here.
You're all here.
Ben has been plowing since 3. He said he was going to try to attend through Zoom, so I'm not sure if he's here.
I'm here.
All right. Oh, there he is. Okay. Okay, here we go. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Rockingham Select Board regular meeting. It is actually Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021. It's now 6 p.m. We're meeting in the Rockingham Town Hall Lower Theater meeting room, or there's a link for the Zoom meeting above. We first need to meet as the Rockingham Board of Liquor Commissioners. We have 5 items on the agenda, or 5 applications.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the liquor licenses as follows.
Peter, can you please turn on your mic or push it towards you?
How's that?
Way better.
I'll repeat. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the following liquor licenses as noted: Leaside Market Incorporated, second-class liquor; Apple Green, New England, second-class liquor license; J.W. Sandry, Inc., second-class liquor license; Bell Falls Country Club, Inc., third-class and outside consumption liquor license; Vermont Country Store, Inc., second-class liquor license.
I'll second the motion.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the 5 stated liquor licenses. Any questions? Anybody know what's Apple Green, New England?
I think that's one of a couple that used to be Cumberland Farms. I think there's a whole passel of stuff in your information. Or
yeah.
Change your name and filing, I think. But
Okay, all those in favor would signify by saying aye.
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 They all pass. Okay, thank you very much. I'd now like to call the meeting to order. We need to approve the minutes, the January 19th, 2021, and the January 21st, 2021 meeting minutes.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
January 11th, 2021 meeting minutes were never approved. We ought to add those in here. That was a special meeting.
Okay, can we do that now?
You can do it now and ratify it at another meeting, or I can add those to your next meeting.
Well, the 19th and 21st are on the agenda. You want to do those? So we wouldn't have to ratify those if we put them all together? Okay, so we need to approve the minutes of the January 11th, 19th, and 21st.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the minutes from January 11th, 19th, and 21st. Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes. Are there any additions to the agenda for routine administrative matters and/or pressing matters that will require ratification at a future meeting? Public comments on items that are not on the agenda. Allow 3 minutes per person.
Scott, is it a good time now?
That's great, Chuck. I think just about 2 more minutes, we'll be ready to go.
Thank you.
Any public comments, Shannon?
None on Zoom.
Okay, none here. You had none? Managers report.
Thank you. We were going to work on, we wanted to get you some updated information, and Chuck is going to give us a video update as to some of the repairs that have gone on inside the clock tower. So I think, Shannon, if we can give the feed to Chuck, I think then he can work from there.
Cool.
So right now I'm up in the clock tower, and the face that you're looking at is the west side. There's a bullet hole that somebody from the church was shooting at the clock tower many years ago. So you can see where that damage is still there. The space right now, we've all noticed that the clock tower has gotten dark over the last couple of months. That's no surprise that some of these bulbs have been burning out. And since they were put in around the same time, about 20 years ago, they are burning out within the same time frame. When we got up here, I'm going to move around, try to move around slowly. This is down. That's a long way down. So there's not a whole lot up here, but you can see where these faces, the Jones Brothers, I can't hardly recognize the space. It's been cleaned up so much. They took bags and bags of broken mortar and dust, cobwebs, you name it. This place was in bad shape. The white, now I'm going to move up so you can point up. So this is such a classic Yankee ingenuity here. That's where the weather vane is and everything. But they whitewashed the brick, and then these bulbs right here, they're very simple. There's not a whole lot to it. These were ceiling fixtures that you can see were mounted on the side of the wall. So right now what we're looking at is LED fixtures that would give us the same kind of illumination. We have Walter Wallace, our CLG coordinator, looking into the historic color of what this clock tower would have looked like. It's about 2,700 Kelvin color temperature. So we're going to try to match that with LEDs. The LEDs we're looking at right now, and I'm going to pivot a little bit more. They are the amount of choices. Now this is the south side. You can see where these have all been cleaned up, but these bulbs, they're not replaced, but we're getting that kind of illumination just off of 2 fluorescent bulbs, which is pretty impressive. But the LEDs, their options are infinite. So we'd have 16 million colors. If you wanted to have green during St. Patty's Day, you could turn the colors green in here. That whatever your choices would want, whatever you would want to do would be an option, and that just comes stock with the LED. That's just it's not a special feature. It's just part of purchasing the LED lights. So I guess I'll answer questions, but many thanks to the Jones brothers. This is not extremely easy getting up here, and they had a lot of work to do to clean this up. They've done what they can. This is the east side, so this is the side facing the Connecticut River. You just see how clean everything is. And I will give Scott some photos that you can download of the original condition, but it was not good at all. We can see, if I zoom in closer here, long term, that's the iron frame. You see that rust? Long term, we're going to have a grant, and Walter and Gary are looking up funding options to see if we can get in here and do a full restoration. So our cleanup, that'll satisfy us for a little while, but long term, we're going to want to see, and really, this is the north side. Everybody can see this, where all that rust. So we have to pull those glasses, and this is 1/2 inch thick glass, and then just restore that iron frame.
You have to get on the outside to pull the clock hands free, or could you take one of those shape pieces off? Okay.
All this is interior.
Okay. Right.
So,
but to get the big round piece of glass, so you must be able to reach through one of those.
That's right.
And
Most
then
of the work appears that you can do on the interior. It doesn't look like there's a lot of exterior, but there's going to be an order of operations that they need to do.
Yep. And how is the thing? Can you zoom in on just? It's fascinating to me. The what looks like a turnbuckle thing that holds the face to the inside of the brick shelf. There's like, I don't know, 20 of them all around the metal. Those things. Those are in good shape. That's what holds.
Yes, and it's not very substantial. I've never seen anything like this. I'm surprised that it's able to hold up like this, but yes, they go around. The brickwork, everything is in extraordinarily good shape. Yep. But that's all it takes. That's all that they use to secure all that glass. And this glass is extremely heavy and thick.
Now, how about that planking, Chuck? Is that something that ought to be looked at to make sure that it's either replaced or sturdy enough to hold people walking around on that up there?
That's right. We did have Jones Brothers look at it. It's sturdy enough right now. It bends. So I don't know if I'd want to be a heavy guy up here, but it's.
I didn't plan on going up, so. Yeah.
You misstep and you're gonna know it. You'll be singing soprano for a couple of weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't notice it on my way in today. I look at it almost every day, but so it's all lit up right now.
That's right. And we have much more to do. We're going to see the lighting changes. I'm hoping to get some specs to Scott and within the next week. There's just a lot of research to do. The typical lighting that you would see for a clock tower like this, it's 10 to 15 grand. That's not something we need, primarily because of the whitewashing and everything. All we need to do is match the illumination of these existing fluorescent bulbs.
Let me ask you though, you were talking that chameleon lighting type, you could light it up green one day for Irish, for the St. Patrick's, or
Purple
multiple colors, or purple.
for alumni.
Yes.
So what's the cost of something like that? Any idea?
It's just standard fixtures. We're looking at what is right now. I've recruited Efficiency Vermont to help me out because they have lighting engineers.
Yeah.
We're looking at Philips Hue technology.
Okay.
And based on that, we're probably about 160 a fixture, and you got 2 fixtures per side, 4 sides. And that, what would be nice is that could be changed using somebody's phone, a mobile technology. So we don't have to scarf up here every time we want to change the lights.
I would just mention that when you're looking at LED, everyone thinks, okay, that's pretty conservative. We can save some energy, but my suggestion would be that you'd go with the maximum amount of wattage that you can get.
Will do.
Yeah.
Well, if they were on a dimmer thing, because you want to ultimately match what they had.
Oh yeah, I'm
Right.
just, yeah, I understand that. I'm just,
Oh, yeah.
and you can, I don't know, not the frequency, but the color that he was mentioning, the 2600, is more towards, correct me if I'm wrong, Chuck, but more towards not a white, but towards a kind of a mediocre,
It's a warm
cream.
light.
It's a warm light. Yeah, Scott said
Yeah.
it well. And ultimately, that's one of the reasons why we want to have some flexibility. If we want to make the lights warmer and that looks better,
Right.
Imagine we're all downstairs. Somebody has a phone and we're just programming the lights so they look the best. And it's after a meeting. That's the kind of flexibility we need.
Yep.
Chuck, what's that rod that goes from that back area to the clock face? Is that the mechanism that turns the hands?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
What for daylight savings? What's that consist of, Chuck? Have we figured that out?
We have not. We're trying to find how. So I've got to program it on daylight savings. It's completely manual. What we're trying to figure out right now is how these lights turn on, and we don't have an answer to that yet. It's got to be a photo cell or a timer somewhere.
Wow.
I did talk to the clock tower folks. Our equipment is circa 93. So if Gary Fox and Walter, who those are two wizards, if they find funding, I want to have a quote to see what it would cost to upgrade our system so that it just automatically goes on daylight savings.
Right. Good thought.
So
Well, thank you so much
One
for
more
letting me
question.
be able to show you this.
how do you gain access to the inside of that, Chuck, where the gears are, where the motor,
Maybe we shouldn't disclose that in public.
No, I'm not. You'd have to get to where he is, but inside there to change the clock. Sometimes one side will be 20
Quicker.
minutes slower.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, they
Oh,
all,
the gearing. So we haven't touched the gearing yet. That's in the dark right now. So we have an electronic device that's in the development office. The gears are inside this box right here.
so it's,
So
you would think they'd
that's all
be,
manual. And the last
you'd think-
person that figured it out was Pepper. He had the acumen to tweak with it and fool with it until he got it right.
That's great. Thanks a lot, Chuck. Great update. We'll bring you some snacks and you just stay up there.
Have a great evening.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thanks, Chuck.
Watch your step. Be done quicker than he thinks.
All right. Anything else? Got your report?
A couple of brief updates. I didn't see, I don't know if Sarah Lang was on was in the one of the boxes.
Hi, Adam Grenold with the BDCC is here. Good
Oh,
evening.
hello, Adam. Okay. So were you gonna, BDCC had asked if they could just take a few minutes and give us some updates. I know they're working with us on some IDA projects, and they're always working on Brownsfields, area-wide plans, career development workforce. So appreciate, Adam, that you're here, and go ahead and give us a couple of updates. That'd be great.
Great. Well, I've got with me my colleagues, Christy Beatty, who is the P3 coordinator, who's working in all 4 Windham County high schools, and then RT Brown, who is our head instigator and business support individual who works with both small, medium, or emerging, and folks who are looking to succeed out of their existing business. But first, I just want to thank the board for having us here tonight, for your continued engagement over the years. You folks have really been receptive and eager to hear about what we're doing, to partner with us, support us. And then secondly, just to thank you for having us on what is by far the most interesting select board meeting of the year. That was great. That tour was really something else. Not something you get to see in every community, and that's I share the fascination with how that all works. So thank you for that. Really what I just wanted to do briefly before I turn it over to Christy and RT is, again, thank you for your past investment. This past year with COVID, we really had to, of course, like everyone, react quickly. We were able to convene calls across Windham County with our municipal leaders, bringing in the federal delegation representatives and representatives from the Agency of Commerce and Community Development, along with other state representatives from agencies and departments. And we really found that the participants were engaged and really felt that time was of great value in connecting to programs, resources, and the different developments that were just moving so quickly. One of the other things that we did was hold weekly or bi-weekly calls for entrepreneurs to learn how to access the programs. And through that work, what we realized at the end as we came out is Windham County received the second most amount of federal and state investment than any other county in the state. And that was really, we believe, from the great work of the partners who were involved in helping get the word out about those programs, helping the businesses connect to those programs, and ensuring that those dollars helped land here. So with that, I'll just make sure we have time for questions and introduce Christy Beatty, who again is our P3 coordinator working in all 4 Windham County high schools. Christy?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having us tonight. I coordinate the Pipelines and Pathways program, and we've been having some pretty great successes despite the setbacks of COVID and not being able to actually be in the schools. We've done a lot of pivots from last year's content, which was taking students on worksite tours, going into the classroom to teach resume classes and soft skills training. And now we're doing it online. So we're doing some career spotlights that we have developed with the guidance team. And they're being offered to every content teacher at the high school. Our most recent success was a STEM career spotlight. We invited several high-level folks from Brattleboro Memorial Hospital to come in and speak with the anatomy and physiology students. So that was a huge success. The kids were very receptive, very engaged, which was nice. And we have another one that's scheduled soon for a social studies class. I think it's called human. I can't remember exactly what the focus is, but it's social studies and related to. She wants to have folks come in from agriculture, from the legislature, and really what we're trying to do is just connect students to jobs in the area and let them know that, you know, if they want to make a life here, they can head directly into the workforce and work for some really fantastic employers, but that they can also go off to college and come back knowing that there are some quality positions here for them as well. So we're having some successes right now. We also are developing with the guidance team a course called Flexible Pathways to Post-Secondary Success. We're hoping that next year that will be a required course for all seniors. And it teaches kids some of the soft skills that employers and college recruiters have identified as needing a boost after they graduate from high school. So we do interviews, mock interviews, and with that, students will actually be offered an informational interview that could lead to real employment and a Windham Work Ready scholarship. So we're working on that right now, and we're developing a virtual model, but hoping that we won't have to utilize it and that we'll be able to be back in the classroom soon. So things are going well. So thanks for having us.
Great. RT, are you there? There you are.
Yeah. Okay. Hi. It's good to see everyone tonight. I'll keep my comments brief, but I just want to build on some of the points that Adam made related to the business resources that we provided to the region and to the town. Adam mentioned that we facilitated a bi-weekly webinar series. We've done more than 18 of those, and those continue to happen twice a month. The next one is this Thursday at 2 o'clock. 22 Rockingham businesses or nonprofits received BDCC liaison report support. 3 Rockingham businesses were part of a program that we helped to administer, which was the Vermont Restart Technical Assistance Program. You know, Adam mentioned that the Wyndham region was the second highest in terms of federal funding. 73 Rockingham businesses received $2.4 million in the Paycheck Protection Program. And, you know, going back to the webinar series, that's what it was all about. We were really trying to make sure that businesses understood what they had to do to access either the Paycheck Protection Program or the IDLE program or any of the Vermont COVID recovery programs. Shifting a little bit away from the business support that I happen to focus on, another one of our programs is what we call the Community Facilities Support Program. And last year, we worked with BFADC to help support financially a feasibility study for the project. We also worked with the Bells Falls project to help support a program with some outside counsel. And I've been in active discussion. My internet might be a little funky. I've been with some active discussion with the Rockingham Area Services Organization to help support them with also another feasibility study. I'm going to stop. I fear my internet may be not so good. So I'm hoping you were able to hear my comments.
So there's one other program I did want to just highlight, which is one that's going on right now, which is the Incremental Development Alliance in partnership with the town. This is a great opportunity for communities to understand their current zoning and see if there's ways in which they can encourage development within their area that meets their zoning objectives, their strategic planning for the economy. And it's often what we find in Vermont and across the country is so many of these rules are a bit of a holdover from a different time. And taking a fresh look at that can really invigorate the development within the region. So with that, I think I'll pause and see if there's any questions or again, thank you for your time.
That's great. Adam, could you just touch a little bit on the area-wide plan and some of the Brownsfield work that you guys are also supporting or doing as well?
Sure. A lot of the work on the brownfields is led by our sister entity, if you will, which is the Wyndham Regional Commission. So BDCC currently has a brownfields project through EPA funding that we're running in Brattleboro. So that's a project-specific funding source. But typically most of the area-wide assessment is conducted through the Wyndham Regional Commission. And then I sit on that board, as do many others, or on that committee, I should say. And then we work in collaboration to get the projects developed.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Anyone have a question? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you. Appreciate all the updates.
RT, thanks.
Anything else, Scott?
Just one other item real quick. We got an update from VT Trans about what we're going to be eligible for our municipal road grant and aid program for 2021. So for next year, it's a little bit more than what they had program for the prior year. So it'll be $31,000 from VT Trans. We'll have a 20% local match requirement, so $77.50. So $38,750 will be available for specific projects, and we're working with them now on the projects that'll be eligible, and we'll report back to you as we get closer to the spring and get closer to actually starting to do some of that work. So that program's ongoing, and there's no shortage of places that need improvements and ditches and culverts and all the drainage related issues that are also impacting roads. So we'll keep you in that loop as we go forward.
Yeah, I think it was interesting. I think it was 60 Minutes, one of the programs I was watching the other day on Sunday. It mentioned all the federal dollars that go for Vermont that are paid in taxes that we actually receive back for every dollar that's sent out, $1.55 in federal funds to the state of Vermont in some form or fashion. And that was actually more than any of the other New England states when I looked at the stats.
Have senior senators.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll move on to the agenda now. Item number 1, certificate of highway mileage.
Thank you. It's pretty much an annual event used as we certify our class 1 through 3 roads in town, as well as the state highways and class 4s. We added, just for your information, additional 975 feet of considered new highway, which is basically an area near Gaskell Road.
Right.
So that was the only addition. Everything else remains the same from previous years. And all this information then helps us in terms of the money that we described for our municipal grant and aids and other types of programs, as Stefan had also mentioned, where we can get federal dollars and other grants to help us maintain and upgrade our transportation infrastructure. So I just need a resolution to basically certify the mileage, and then we'll send that back to the state.
Any questions on that, anyone?
Oh, let's move it. I move that we approve the highway mileage, certificate of highway mileage as presented.
Second.
We
Motion
have
ha-
a copy to sign here.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the certificate of highway mileage as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes.
Aye.
Oh, thank you very much. Next item, town report.
Thank you. We did get some comments. I think Peter had sent in some comments, so those will be incorporated into our final draft. I think the draft has been circulated. So at this point, we're at the point where we have to give a final copy to the printer to get it out for printing in order to have it back in time for our informational meeting, which is the 18th of February. So that's just sort of a timing issue, and we don't have any additions except for some of the corrections I think that had been pointed out previously.
Yeah, so prior to the first round of corrections and edits that I received from Peter and others made it into the version that went to the copier. Unfortunately, we had deadlines, so it already went to the copier. So Peter, I was going to actually call you tomorrow. We received a a hard copy of a version, and so per page changes we have to pay. So we'll have to talk about what we want to incorporate for changes and what we feel like we can just leave at this point.
Are we going to show the expenses as I mentioned? I think it's.
If you'd like to, we'd have to pay for 500 copies for a change for each page. But we can discuss offline if you want.
Because I think it ought to be there. I've got a copy of last year's town report with me, and 2019, it does show the budget for 2019 and expenses that were applied against that budget. I think people are going to want to see that. I anticipate we're going to get a lot of questions on stuff that was, especially the 119.5 that was put in by the town meeting. And they're going to want to know what happened to that, but it's not showing up anywhere. Nobody can look it up. And you still haven't given me an answer on the 33.5 interest payment in the cinema expenses.
Yeah, I haven't got there. We, as you guys know, it's full audit, town report, budget. We have lots of HR issues being handled at the moment. But the 33.5 is not affecting our bottom line either way. We will get answers to it. Right now, we're just in, I guess, we're kind of triaging. So tomorrow, the report has to go back to the printer with final edits.
I would highly recommend that you get the expenses in there for 2020, along with the budget for 2020.
Okay, so we paid approximately $1,200 for the reports. That estimation will be about 1,800 and changes.
Well, I think it's a matter of transparency at this point. I think they're going to want to see that, but.
So what, couldn't you simply answer where the 119?
Wait, to me,
Go ahead. Go ahead,
sorry,
Susan.
I didn't mean to, we kind of crossed paths there. Sorry. So clarify that again for me. So if we were to make changes now, it would cost how much in addition?
Well, if we're going to change every single budget page.
Yeah.
So it's per page, per copy. So there's 500 copies and the bulk of the entire report is budget. What we can do is put an insert into the report with actuals. The reason we left it out is we have not made adjusting audit entries yet. And I think that it would be very confusing. We had to bump up the deadline for the town report because of the informational meeting. So we're finishing audit right now and we'll make entries, but I just think it would be unfair.
When will the audit be ready?
In the next couple
before the 18th or no? Will we have a copy of it before the 18th?
I would say yes.
Yeah, Sue,
so can we just have people get the audit?
Well, that's absolutely.
That's
everyone's going to get the audit. That's the whole point. I didn't want the audit not to match the town report.
Okay. Things that 119 or whatever it was from put in last year, that's for this current year that we're in. So Peter, you're saying you want expenses to date for this current year?
No, if you go back to last year's town report, you'll see that it's got 1019 budget, and it also has the expenses applied against that budget, and then it's got 21 and 22 proposed. This budget just shows budget numbers for 19, 20, 21, and 22. No expenses shown anywhere. That's what's been put against that budget item.
We can put inserts into the town reports, and we can also, they're also distributed, audited financials. What I didn't want, and I thought would be far more confusing, is to have unaudited financial numbers in the town report that's handed out at the same time as the audit, which would be different.
But that's what you did that in 2019.
Right, because that was what we have been doing going forward, but I don't think it's a good practice. And if we weren't in a pandemic and we didn't have to have an informational meeting, the audit would be distributed before the town report.
Now, is there a timeline we have to have a warning out for the informational meeting?
It's already out. It had to be out by last Friday.
Has anybody on this board received a copy of that warning?
It went out via the town clerk.
It's the same warning that you had.
Well, that's the warning.
Right.
But is there any notification that it is on the 18th?
It's on
there.
this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make sure we hit the deadlines, you know.
Yes, it is.
You guys signed the warning.
Yeah, it's on here, Peter. There's
you
a
approved it.
that Thursday, the February
So the
18th
plan, Shannon, is to make an insert with the expenses, perhaps a pie chart to break it down for people like last year.
Sure, we can do that, but also to have
it would be
audited...
an insert so that it's accurate. And then and if anyone has a question where the 119.5 is, there's a pretty simple answer.
Well, that's in this fiscal year. And which is not even, there's no to date or actuals in this town report regarding this fiscal year.
Okay,
All right.
perfect. Anything else, Peter?
Nope.
Anyone else? I think it looks great, and thank you all for your hard work to get it out there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything else? Susan, Ben, Stefan, any questions?
At this time, sir.
All right. Next item on the agenda. I suppose we can discuss appointing a select board member to the automated vehicle committee.
Sure. So if I could just give a little update before your discussion, I did hand out some information to the board. There is going to be a forum, which is basically it's presented by VT Trans and some of the participants in the program, giving more detail about how the program will be run in Vermont, what the requirements are for permitting through the VT Trans process, and any other kinds of just general information. There'll be a video and some other items on that. That forum is coming up on the 8th of February. I'll be just on one of the panels, just as part of the conversation. The chair of the Springfield Select Board, the vice chair rather, is going to participate in that, as you recall or might have seen recently in the news. Springfield is going to have a permit for testing. They went through the select board there and they decided that they were going to go forward. I've asked VT Trans to have a follow-up meeting, to have a public information meeting some point in March to give additional information to this board as well as anybody in the village who's interested prior to any kind of decision to go forward with a permit. So at this point, all we're looking to do on a committee is to look at all these inputs, engage the public, and at some point we'll come back to you with some type of resolution if we wanted to go forward, somewhat in the form that I have here as a draft that I gave you in this paperwork here. So we're in no means looking to get a decision tonight about actually issuing a permit. This is just continuing more information gathering, public discussion, and then at some point we'll come back to see how you would like to proceed.
What's the timeline that we're looking at then?
So talking with VT Trans, they would like to have a decision after we do the public meeting in March, come back and if there's answers or questions that they'd like to answer sometime in April and have a decision sometime before May so they could start potentially, as the weather's better, to start doing some of this work potentially over the summer.
But I mean, what about a timeline for any of these committee that we need to pull together? I mean, I'm just thinking maybe it makes more sense to wait till we have a new select board. We'll have some turnover, well, we will have turnover in March, first week of March, or is that too late to start a committee?
I think
meetings?
the committee itself, Susan, was the one looking to get a member. I understand that things are going to change soon, but to my memory, it was like they wanted to form a committee, and I don't know if it's mandatory, but they wanted a select board member. So it seems that that's what they were waiting for to begin their discussion to whatever happens in Rockingham with this.
Right. So this is a V-Trans committee, or is this a committee of the town of Rockingham to look at this?
It'll be a V-Trans member. It'll be myself. It'll be a member of trustees and a member from the select board, and probably one or two people from the public as well.
Wasn't there a list where we already saw some people who were in it, and then it was kind of just waiting for a select board member? And then to me,
not that I recall.
I felt like I saw one, but I don't know, with the development in Springfield, like when they came here, there was no other town
Mm-hmm.
that was even interested in entertaining it. Springfield had a meeting and accepted it, and then it's front page news. So are they still super interested in pursuing Rockingham as well?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
They think that, the more areas that they can go and the more data they can gather, then the better off they can determine how this program is viable or not viable, basically, as it goes forward.
It's interesting. It's
And I'm sure
interesting
they
that,
want adjacent town.
Well, it would certainly help, obviously, right? If they're working in Springfield and Rockingham and Bellows Falls, right? We all are in the general area, so I'm sure that would help as well.
It's interesting that Burlington, Winooski, or Montpelier haven't stepped up to the plate. You'd think, with the traffic issues they have, they'd be one of the ones to be looking at this, but I guess maybe they're not interested.
Yeah, I don't know, Peter. I don't know if it's been, talked
Yeah.
about in other places. I really don't. I haven't seen a lot of other information about it,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Well, I'll tell you what, if anybody, I'll step up to the plate and tell you I'm interested. We're back up to a 6-day-a-week schedule up there, but, as long as I get hopefully enough notice in advance, I should be able to make it.
Oh, that's great.
Yep.
And again, we're not asking for a commitment or any
Right.
kind of, approvals at this point. It's more to gather information, make sure we're reaching out, and we want to be as informed as we can be before we go and do any type of resolution or any kind of, decision. So we're still very early in the process of really gathering information and making sure that we're all fully informed.
Any other
All right, I
discussion?
nominate Stefan.
What if Stefan's not here in after March?
Well,
He could still be on the committee? Okay, we have a nomination. Need a second. Ben, you got
Second.
it? All right. Motion has been made and seconded to nominate Stefan Gulick to the ABC Automated Autonomous Vehicle Committee.
Second.
It's been seconded, huh? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, Stefan Gulick has been,
Have to appoint somebody else if we need a select board member and Stefan isn't elected, but we'll deal with that later.
yeah, you guys can figure that out should the time come. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we need to review agenda items for our next meeting, February 16th.
I know one item that we'll have to move up.
We'll have to prepare for the 18th meeting, I guess.
Hold on, Sue. Scott was talking.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead. You have,
The,
we'll take turns.
Yeah, the Wyndham Windsor Housing Trust update, which is the
No, that's yours.
BF
That's your
Garage
copy.
project.
Okay.
They've
It's on the
requested
ADV.
to
I'll
come
from here.
and present
So if you want to save it for your records.
at the meeting of the 16th. So we won't do that. We'll probably have to move that one up because I guess there's some CDBG and some other public funds that they have to discuss with the select board. Not our money, but federal money. So I think that they'll probably be on the agenda for the 16th.
Susan? You have something? What he just said?
No, I was just gonna say, we'll have to figure out, prepare how this informational meeting is. And I mean, how is it different from town meeting?
It really isn't significantly different from town meeting. This will prepare everyone for town meeting because it's going to be remote, and this is the first time we're doing the entire thing via Australian ballot. It's just a time to allow people to ask us questions, log into the Zoom if they have questions about Australian ballot and how that works. It should be a pretty brief informational meeting, and then and we'll highlight kind of what the new town meeting will look like, and that will be it.
Okay, so there'll be no real discussion about any of the warning items. Just information about how the town meeting will run this year.
That's the idea of it. However, it is the select board's meeting. So if you want to answer questions about the budget or about the warning, you can do so if you choose.
I think it should be kept to the previous statements. It's not time to discuss it. It's information for how that our business meeting will be run. I don't think we should get into detail.
Right.
If,
I think,
if four people show up, they should all wait like everyone else. Simply information.
No, unless, yeah. Sorry.
Informational. Yep.
Sorry, the Zoom lag here. Unless there's some specific information that maybe they will be helpful to people, like some of those charts and things we've had in the past. If someone comes up with an idea of how we can help explain things better, and that would give 2 weeks potentially to pull up that data for the town meeting. But other than that, you're right, just informational. I mean, I don't know, Shannon, how many of those things you're going to prepare. I mean, some of those pie charts and things those little handouts were helpful.
Yeah.
At meetings past, but I don't know with the audit going on if you have time to deal with that.
Absolutely. So those will be ready at our informational meeting with audit, town report, and the handouts. And then they'll be ready again for town meeting. So they will be there.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And I will have them to the select board ahead of time with some formal write-up so that you guys can answer any questions that are asked of you.
Excellent. Anything else? That's anything else for that meeting? We'll not right now. And then our next review items for the next joint board meeting, which we're not sure when that will be.
I think it's late March.
Wyndham,
right? I think it's I'll double check the date.
Usually quarterly, so it's somewhere in
Yeah.
March.
Yeah.
have one item on there, the Wyndham Windsor Housing Trust update. Where they gonna?
I think we're going to move them to the 16th because I think
Okay.
there's some public money that they have to discuss with us on the garage project and a change in the scope. So
They're having something on Zoom tomorrow or something, or the 4th, I think it is. You
it's
got a
an
notice,
ongoing
an
process.
email, yeah.
Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah.
Yes.
At noontime, so if anybody's interested, they can watch it. Join in.
Yeah. These will be more specific to town, impacts for us directly. So we'll make sure that it's well publicized ahead of time.
Okay, we need to review and approve orders, bills, and warrants.
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion been made, seconded to review and approve orders, bills, and warrants. Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Approved.
I
Other business. Susan, we'll start with you. No, you're
I'm all
frozen.
set for thank you, other than thank the town crew. They did a great job.
I will pass that on. Thank you. Sure.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yep.
Yep. Okay.
I will.
Thank you.
No,
Ben.
thank you.
No, nothing. I don't have anything.
Okay, thank you. Stefan,
We're good, Mr. Chairman.
Peter.
Do we know what happened with the tax issue in Westminster for the recycling center? Got emails on that. People asking. I have no answer.
I'll get
That
back to you. I'll respond to the board via email.
Do we have an update on where we stand with one center?
I will have the attorney is going to review I've done the draft of the findings and the conclusions. I just want their input, and then I should issue it hopefully by the end of this week.
Okay. Is all the people that had affidavits going to get a copy of that so they know? what
We can
went on?
certainly do that. We're not required, but I think it's probably a nice thing to do since they
I was
did
just thinking that
participate.
they might want to know where we stand. I've already had a
I'm
couple
sure
of
they're
them
going
ask
to
me.
want
I
some follow-up, so we might as well
told them I
send it
couldn't
to them.
comment because it was working.
Yeah, I think it makes some sense.
And I noticed this morning, 121 coming in this morning, somebody got the guardrail by Fred Bullocks. Took that right off. It's over on the left-hand side of the road now. It's on the field side.
Okay.
I'm sure Andy's aware of it. But
Yeah. A few people sliding around.
Anything else?
Nope.
I would like to just question again the status of the, so when we sign all these agreements with Green Mountain Power to replace power poles, and in the agreement, we've always stated that they remove the old one. I think Wade Mashure recently asked about the big piles of dirt. I've had some residents ask me about certain poles that have been there for a really long time, so just maybe you could give the public a response to what the holdup is, and are they ever going to remove? Why are we signing an agreement with them if they're not holding up to removing the pole?
They're difficult to work with in relationship to their responsibility to other utilities, right? So every time they have a pole and they have multiple utilities on that pole, everybody has to get off in order for them to then remove the old pole. And quite frankly, they're not real, once their particular portion is moved, they're not real good about following through with the other people that are on that pole. I've reached out to a couple people at Green Mountain. I've reached out to some other folks, Consolidated, because they want to come back to us with some issues about some upgrades to their system. So we're going to start that conversation before we start getting any further along with this mess. I'd like them to clean up the mess that's already there. So I'm hoping that we can use some leverage here and get some movement, because I've got a pretty long list of places that they need to go and resolve. So your frustration is my frustration. Hopefully we can use a little leverage here and get some action.
Excellent. I think it's not, I don't have one in front of my house. It's a lot of other people's frustration. So it's good to hear an answer. And the part about everyone's utilities, different companies on that same pole kind of makes sense to me. Can't put all the blame on them,
But since Green Mountain owns the pole, it's their responsibility to do that transfer and ultimately then remove that old pole. So
because since I've been here, we've added make sure they remove the pole at the time of, right?
Well, yeah, I think
It was signed.
within a year. I thought
Yep.
it was.
You're right. We've given them time, but believe me, some of these are well past.
Yeah.
Well past that period. So.
Okay, excellent. So no need for executive session. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you and good night.